Hey friends. Okay, let's catch up. The first thing you need to know is that I haven't been posting videos for a while because I got really overwhelmed. First of all, going from my college campus that has really good Wi-Fi to going back to my house, and I live in a valleyed area, so naturally the Wi-Fi just isn't as strong there. Like, I've called my carrying company, I've been like, why is this video taking 3 years to upload? And they tell you it's because of the location of where I live. So that's something that kind of deterred me from doing videos once I returned home from college. But more importantly than that, I was super overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that I had. I mean, the first time moving in freshman year to my dorm, everyone else's stuff took up like 2 sidewalk blocks. Mine took up 4. So that just goes to show you how compulsive of a consumer that I was such a compulsive consumer. I couldn't help myself. Like, I would have tons and tons of backup things that were so unnecessary. Why do you need to have, 5 hairbrushes? I don't know. Like, the purpose of a hairbrush is to do one thing. So that's when I started to do some research, and I came across the book called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna read this book. Like, I'm not into this whole, hippy-dippy sort of thing, but I figured I would read the book. I love to read during the summer. So I read it, and it totally made me rethink my consumption. It made me rethink why I owned so much stuff that I didn't even like, or I bought on an impulse and I didn't really enjoy it. So, like her book discusses, I took out every single piece of my clothing from every part of my house once I got home, and I went through everything piece by piece. And I ended up giving away at least 8 bags full of clothes. And I came downstairs with a couple bags one time, and my parents thought I was crazy. My parents thought I was out of my mind for giving away so much stuff, and I just thought, well, the stuff that I have now, like, this is gonna last me for years. The stuff that I really loved will last me for a very long time. So I felt like I needed to give things away. There was no point in me keeping them selfishly when other people would really get some joy out of it. So that was the first step in me becoming less extra. Before I had decluttered, when I was stressed, my first thought, besides, being overwhelmed with like schoolwork and obligations, stuff like that, my first thought was, I have too much stuff. Stuff takes up so much of your mental space, your emotional space, physical, tangible space. And I would buy all these organization containers, like plastic containers with drawers, that are so unnecessary. And really the problem is not organizing things, it's having less things to organize. And that goes for physical things and intangible things like obligations. I've become a lot more assertive when it comes to saying yes or no to things that I want to participate in. I'm much more careful now to not overwhelm myself, especially in today's world when you're a 20-something young woman and you're trying to throw yourself into every business opportunity that you can, every opportunity, educational and work-related, career-related. It's really hard to say no to things because you don't want to be missing out on something. I find it really important and helpful to focus on only a few things at a time and to not say yes to everything and overwhelm myself, and then everything, mainly myself, ends up suffering. My second tip for how to be less extra is look into minimalism. So minimalism is a bit more extreme than the decluttering in The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, but it's very closely related in the fact that through decluttering you kind of realize that you spent so much money on things and you're kind of like, oh my god, like, how did I ever do that? How did I ever let myself, how did I ever budget myself to do that? Well, when you're in high school, you work a job on the weekends and a couple times during the week, and you're doing pretty good, like you're making good money. But then when you get to college and you have all these other expenses that are obligatory, you don't have as much disposable income. Minimalism is something that's really helped me shape how I view consumerism and consumer behavior. I'm a public relations major with a business minor, and I focus a lot of my studying in marketing. I've taken a lot of marketing classes and have been exposed to a good amount of different marketing things, and I've always been really enthralled by marketing, and realizing now through minimalism that I've been the easiest consumer ever. Like, I would just listen to all these people and these businesses telling me that I need a product to fix every single one of my problems, and the biggest one of those was beauty. You can even see in my last videos, I know I'm happy with the way that they turned out, but you just saw the amount of products that I had, and it was just really unnecessary. So definitely turning to minimalism is a great way to be less extra. So my beauty routine is something that I've really had to simplify. I'm not putting on a full face of makeup every day before I go to class. I find that that's really bad for my skin, and it's just too time consuming. I have accounting projects I need to work on and stuff. So that's one of the main things, is simplifying my beauty routine through minimalism was something that has been incredibly helpful. So the third thing I've been trying to do is stop buying new things. This is really hard because I go to college in kind of a remote rural area. I mean we're close to a major city and whatnot, but Sephora is not super accessible to me here. We have a Walmart and a TJ Maxx and a Dunkin' Donuts, and that's great. But so I was even buying a ton of stuff at Walmart that I didn't need. Something I'm starting to value a lot more now that I'm older is quality over quantity. You just want to consume as much as you can. You want to experience as many things as you can, but then you realize that those things, 8 different mascaras, are taking up a ton of your physical and mental space, and it's not worth it. So right now I am not buying any new beauty products because I'm using up the ones that I have. The third thing I've been trying to do to be less extra and less high maintenance is pursuing a minimal waste lifestyle. Now, I will openly tell you, I am the last person to be in the sort of hippie sort of movements, and if you consider yourself a hippie, power to you, great, that's fine. But for me, I'm just not like that. I'm very type A, by the book sort of thing. So honestly, the movement's called the zero waste movement, but I have a couple problems with it in the respect that I'm a college student and I live in a rural area. So, and where I live in upstate New York, we don't have a ton of farmers markets bringing us fresh produce, unfortunately, throughout, the entire winter. So I don't have all these amazing farm fresh vegetables so accessible to me throughout the entire, fall and winter. So even, buying bulk goods is it is more expensive for me right now because the closest bulk store we have is 30 minutes away, and I don't bring my car to campus, so how am I gonna get there? And I for sure can do better planning next semester for buying some bulk things and buying things perhaps in bigger quantities that I know I'm really gonna consume when it comes to food products. That's one thing that I can work on. But one of the most astounding facts that I've found through my research is that packaging is often 15% of the price of a product, and that was the most eye-opening thing for me to find out, because especially when you love beauty products, packaging is super important to you. Of course, we care aesthetically about the way something looks. It's just part of our society. It's just how it is. And you don't realize that you are paying money for the packaging, and a lot of times you're tossing the package right into the garbage, and that's very wasteful. And really, I'm just trying to live a little bit more frugal and to be a little bit more deliberate and intentional with my purchases when I do have to purchase. Like, I prefer to spend my money on things like meals and experiences rather than buying a new shirt, just because why not when I have plenty of shirts to already wear? So these are some of my tips on how to be less extra. And if you have any tips as to pursuing a more minimal or waste-aware lifestyle, please let me know in the comments down below.